Welcome to Cultural Studies Podcast, where cultures collide and misunderstandings become lessons. Today we're going to Sweden. We're having an interesting case with a German author who actually started to work for a Swedish firm in Germany. And a major fair was organized in Sweden by the headquarters. There were more than 200 attendees, customers, colleagues, these kind of things. The fair lasted for 3 days with lectures during the day and followed by dinner, social events, networking, this kind of stuff where you go and you have a drink and you talk to each other and you dance and you get a good time. All right. There was no required dress code after dinner. All right. Everybody was addressed by their first name, which was unusual for the author who comes from a culture where there is a certain use of title and of position. But it brings a pleasant atmosphere, and usually you get used to it. On the other hand, this kind of approach makes it difficult to distinguish between colleagues and clients. So we're having our author who was taking a break between dances, and he met someone called Lars at the bar. So they talked for a while, and eventually it became clear that this was a colleague and not a customer. Right? This Lars was asking where and what was he working, and so there was a discussion where the author explained that he was new in the company and in which department he had started to work. All right. During the discussion, they found out that actually the information, the knowledge he had, the author, about a new product would be greatly benefiting the exchange with this Lars, and that's it. What was interesting is that once the party was over, everybody went back home, and after the return to Germany, the secretary from the headquarters office called the author one day and told him that she had sent specific information concerning this new product. As it turned out, Lars was the executive vice president of the company, which of course he never presented himself like that, and the manner in which he treated the author never indicated that he was in this very top position. So in this case, it's quite fascinating because we see that the low-key manner of the Swedish manager contrasts with the author who's used to a much higher organization, and this is illustrating very well the dimension that we call power distance. That's a term by Geert Hofstede, or generally calling a difference between hierarchy and equalitarian cultures. Germany is not very hierarchical by world standards, so we see here that cultural differences are always relative, because the Swedish ways is a lot more equalitarian, where roles that are assigned by everyone are not actually used as artifact of power like in hierarchical cultures that you can expect. All right, so someone from an equalitarian culture, in that case the executive vice presidents, so his behavior didn't meet the expectations that are typically associated with a top manager from the perspective of a hierarchical background. All right. So the way he was dressed, the tone of voice, the topic of discussion, nothing actually gave away in the discussion that he had a very top position in the company, and the fact that he was very close, even during the discussion, added a certain discrepancy. All right. So we've got here a good example of a short distance from the Swedish manager that sometimes lead to misunderstanding about the true position of a manager. All right. So generally, when in a international situation, when you meet people, don't rely too much on your expectations, whether you are dealing with somebody higher up or not, only based on such cues that for you would be telling whether somebody is from higher or lower position. It can be quite very different in different cultures, and Sweden, for that, of course, is relatively equalitarian, even in the region. So think about your managers, think about your staff, think about how you like to present yourself. Of course, linguistics plays a role here, because in English, sometimes it's difficult to transmit the sense of hierarchy. In other languages, sometimes it's easier. But keep in mind that there are different tendencies across cultures, whether or not we're going to use our position as a act of power display or not. That's all for today. I hope you liked this case and its analysis. Thank you very much. See you next time. And remember, if you think you're normal, don't worry. Others probably don't think so. This episode is just one drop in an ocean of cross-cultural studies. If you're curious for more, my book, 199 Cross-Cultural Case Studies, offers 198 more cases. Each story is a window into how culture shapes our interactions, often in unexpected ways. Whether you're a student, a professional, or simply curious, those stories will challenge your assumptions and sharpen your global perspective. Check it out! And let's keep the conversation going.